Manchester Central Library has recently unveiled their new exhibit, Acting Up, 40 Years of HIV Activism. The exhibit displays the archives from George House Trust to celebrate 4 decades of breaking down the stigma and improving the lives of people living with HIV.
What you see here today is kind of one of the significant milestones of the project, and this is the exhibition of George House Trust's archive, as well as many other archive material that's related to HIV in Greater Manchester. One of the significant parts of the project has been the fact that I've been working with 8 volunteers to catalogue George House Trust's archive. George House Trust has a number of historical records related to HIV over the past 40 years, and myself and the volunteers have been cataloguing and packaging those archives, those records, and we have deposited it here at Manchester Archives, where it is now available to the public. Looking forward to the impact that could have on narratives around HIV and historical retellings of the activism that happened now that everyone has access to it. George House Trust has always had a really broad service user base of many different demographics that have been affected by HIV, because quite often the kind of gay male storylines get more prominence, but George House Trust has been working with mothers living with HIV, with Black communities living with HIV, and we've had services for those communities for a long time, and that's really present in the archive. So I'm really glad that that evidence, those records, is going to be publicly available as well.
Manchester, in many ways, was really at the forefront of a lot of campaigning and medical research for HIV at the time. A lot was happening in Manchester in the 80s all the way through to the present day. So there's a really, really important history that we really want to honour and explain to people and get people to understand. Speaking to people, reaching out to people, understanding who are the sort of voices that need to be in this exhibition. So reaching out to all sorts of different volunteers and staff who work with George House Trust, members, friends of the organisation, people living with HIV in Manchester, activists from all walks of life who did grassroots activism and maybe activism in, say, Manchester City Council, all sorts of people who were involved in the story, reaching out to them, learning about their experiences and trying to craft a story out of that. And then on the other hand, there was a lot of digging into the archives. One of the messages of the exhibition is that we're all sort of interconnected, and that although there were all of these different groups and activists that we're looking at, they were all coming together across different lines of sexuality, gender, race and ethnicity, all with a common goal of sort of supporting each other and making life better for all of us.
This is Emma White, The Meteor.